Well, hello, my baby gorillas! And this fella keeps saying stuff to me there. What was he saying there? Far right, call yourself what you want. People know how to apply euphemisms to themselves to disguise their illiberal. Craig Miller, I've said nothing that's illiberal at all. The only people I know that's illiberal is Nicola Sturgeon. She is illiberal, and I would suggest that the Labour Party are illiberal, and even the Liberal Democrats are illiberal. You don't know me. I haven't actually stood on anything, but yet apart from for the Brexit Party. But so euphemisms to themselves. I did a political compass test, Craig. And the political compass test showed quite categorically where it was. Now, I left the Scottish Libertarian Party because I'm a centrist. People in the Scottish Libertarian Party know this as well. So, I've never met you before, and this is the thing about people who've never met me, like Paul Hutchins, never met me, writing articles, disgusting articles about me. Peter the Plonker Smith, never met me, doesn't know me, but has been able to suss out what I am without even knowing me, possibly because of Paul Hutchins' articles, who's never met me. And you've just described me as far right as well, when I'm a centrist libertarian liberal. I am actually a traditional liberal. So you, as far as I'm aware, have never met. Your face does not look, let's just see, I've never met you before. Your face does not look familiar at all, Craig. So I don't know. So you're obviously just in the same group as these characters, just making up things. I don't know if this is some sort of something delusional about people in Scotland, or maybe it goes further afield, who haven't met me, and yet have got a great understanding of where I am in the political compass, even though, or this political spectrum, even though I've done the political compass test. Even though that's happened, Craig, I've done my political. You do yours, pal. Why don't you do yours, and then we can compare and contrast where you are in the political compass. You're describing me as illiberal. So what have you said here? To themselves, and disguise their illiberal beliefs as merely spraying Febreze at a turd. There's nothing illiberal. You don't know where my views are yet. We're actually going to set up a political party that's going to describe exactly what I've just told you in the actual political title. So I would suggest that you need to do your political compass test. I've already shown you, Craig, where it is. Why don't you do it and show me your political compass? And I bet yours is more extreme than mine. I bet you that this is what this is going to show you, that you're the extremist. You're on the fringes of politics, not a centrist like myself. That's why you think me as a centrist is far right. That's why, because you're on the extreme. You do your political compass test, pal. Let me see it. And then we can have a proper chat. I've already given you mine. You still describe me as far right, and I'm a centrist. Just like Sawar said he was far right. He never met Sawar before in my life. He was asking him journalistic questions. I don't know if he says to other journalists that they're far right, but that just shows you. I would suggest that Mr. Sawar's an Islamofascist and a member of a child rapist death cult, and I would suggest that that's more of an issue than my centrist politics. I would suggest that's a major issue. It didn't beat Nicola Sturgeon either. But Nicola Sturgeon is a Marxist, so maybe if you see everything as far right, that's why I put up about far right on my on the actual political compass, because I knew people like yourself, Craig, who have never met me, have got no point of reference to my liberalism or illiberalism, can actually have a point of reference. Just like never met Sawar, he's described me as far right, so I don't know why he was describing as far right, me critiquing political belief system that is totalitarian and potentially fascist as me being far right, being a liberal. You've described me as far right. Peter the Plonker, described me as a racist and a bully. Never met me before. Paul Hutchins was telling me I was at a David Irving event I was never at. And but even regardless, let's look at the body count. For National Socialism and communism, the far left have got far more blood in their hands than anything the far right's done. Anything, even though I'm not far right, I'm a centrist. I'm actually very close to the actual centre of politics, but I'm in the sexy side and the libertarian side. So this is a sort of delusional thing that people, as if they know me and as if they're in my head in some level. What they are is shilling for the actual political class, the 5 main political parties. So we saw them all cordoned off there to protect themselves against actual scrutiny, but they won't do it for long, Craig, to answer your questions. And yeah, you may have won, Craig, but we're going to have 5 more years of incompetence from wee Nippy, who can't run the economy, who's been a disaster for the last 5 years, who's surrounded by incompetent politicians. So we're going to see more incompetence over the next 5 years anyway. So I'll be looking forward to that as well. Let's see what the Navarra media are saying, the commies. What are they saying? What are the commies saying now they've got absolutely slaughtered? Oh dear. Is there any self-reflection yet? No?
I was looking for a second income. But you don't think that you've got the time to create... I can't imagine.
Navarra media, the anti-white racist postmodernist Marxists, carry on. Aaron Bastani, I'm literally a communist.
A more ridiculous set of circumstances. So we can talk about the sociology, we can talk about the changing nature of demographics and property ownership and all that, and it's all valid. But all of the stuff I've just listed was eminently avoidable, and I think
nobody wants communism in this country, thanks.
It betrays a Labour leadership which I think is unprecedented in both its incompetence and its misunderstanding of how competent it is. Keir Starmer is a fundamentally useless, vacuous politician surrounded by useless advisors, and they really think they are the dog's bollocks.
Well, seeing the absolute loon ball lefties that are in the back benches, and some even actually now managed to get on the front benches, it looks like the lunatics have taken over the asylum with the Labour Party just now. There isn't anybody who probably would be substantially better. Rayner's absolutely hopeless. She would be an absolute joke, even though it would probably be beneficial for a woman to be in charge. But everybody who is not part of your loon ball circle thinks you're all a bunch of loonies. And I don't know how you want me to dress up for you. All these commies think, oh, what's happened? We're all racist and anti-white. Why is this not working? No, I don't know. We've got racist Marxism, not the class struggle Marxism. Now we've got racist Marxism coming in. Genius that we Nippies signed up to. What are you guys saying? Labour pumped again.
It's Friday night, you're tuned into Tisky Sour, and we are talking about...
Getting pumped? You're talking about getting pumped? Like an old tyre. Pumped.
Some seriously big news this evening.
Yeah, you get pumped because you commies didn't listen. Oh my goodness, because you're on your Twitter. Oh, Twitter. I get banned on Twitter, that's my claim to fame. They banned the Guerilla TV channel because they can't handle the criticism. All right, so it's just an echo chamber. Twitter don't have a right to access to our markets near any of the other California mobs over here as well. You better watch they don't get blocked.
Elections across the UK. We're mainly going to be talking about England today because that's where the results have come in thickest and fastest. And so far, it's looking very, very bad.
That's a shame. I wonder how that could have happened.
Keir Starmer. We're going to go through the results. We're going to talk about the reactions. Long story short, Keir Starmer saying, I take full responsibility while blaming everyone but himself. We're going to dissect that nonsense which we've heard from everyone on the front bench today. And there is no one I would rather go through discussing this political roller coaster than Aaron Bastani. How are you doing, Aaron?
Michael, it's so good to be joining you this evening.
The commies are upset at the Social Democrats. They've not taken any responsibility either. The racist anti-white commies. Carry up. Come on, boys. What are you saying?
I wouldn't rather be sharing the show with anybody else myself, so this is a match made in heaven.
Yeah, or hell. Carry on.
I think there's probably lots of people who have been watching the television today who've been screaming at it.
Or laughing. Laughing, I think, was my sort of natural reaction. Oh, this is a bit loud, isn't it? What's my baby Guerilla saying? Oh, dear. Laughing at the television. Have I popped this yet? Have I not popped you guys? Oh, the pop-out chat, there we go, guys and girls. They keep blocking you guys talking to me. What are you guys saying? Hi there, Bernadette, how are you doing, pal? I've heard the SNP have lost a lot of the second votes. Brilliant, great stuff. Glad my tactical vote stopped SNP in Edinburgh West, did it? Very good, Mr. Fred Rogers. Let's hope so, Davey. Mustache, a sarcasm mob, yep, the commies. Diane Abacus as Manchester United manager. Humza get back in, I know, what a disaster. What an absolute disaster getting Humza useless back. God damn. What's going on in Pollock? Edinburgh Central overtaken by the university class. Is it? I don't know what's happening. I didn't see that yet. Tell us what's happening, Mr. Fred Rogers. What a surprise. I like the uni students. I like them. They're nice. But they probably get particular views. Well, we're all young ones. That's one thing. Although I still feel, once you get to a certain age, you still feel you've always been that age. Bet it was Bojo's Peter reporting you that caused that. Yeah, well, it could have been that, or Paul Hutchins, or Anna Sarwar, or I noised them up, or even Wee Nippy. Wee Nippy, they had written an article about me in the Scotland on Sunday or something like that, and I then tagged them in articles corroborating what I'd said, and obviously Wee Nippy didn't like that. And then Jada Francis, who I don't know Jada Francis, then obviously took them to task. I can smell soy from here, the soy boys. Right, here we go. What are these girls saying?
Because we've heard so much poor analysis from people. My
analysis has been brilliant, spot on. You should, obviously, you commies are not tuning into the Guerilla TV channel.
Team motivated reasoning, so we're going to cut through some of that crap. As ever, we would love to know your thoughts. Especially on such a big news.
You're going to continue to get pumped. Yeah, it's going to be like, see, what you don't realise is there's a hole in the tyre, and when you're pumping away, it's coming out this way. So it's very difficult to do that, try and do that. And it's coming out the hole in the tyre. Oh, I can't do that. And you're pumping, and the wind's, and it's still pumping away. Oh, the Marxism, racist Marxism, the air's coming out this way. That's votes, the air, and you're pumping, and it's hard to actually do that as you start to go all over the shop. And that's very much the sort of political analysis that I would draw for you guys, because you don't listen. You don't listen. Racist communism and class communism, the British people don't like Marx because he was a dum-dum.
As today, so do tweet them on the hashtag TiskiSound. We'll go to some of your comments throughout the show. Of course, if you are new to the show, do hit subscribe.
Yeah. Tune in to Red TV. If you wish you were born in the Soviet Union, Nevada Media is the place to be. We're all ideologically driven.
Times a week. Not just after massive election results. We're going to be going, we'll be talking a lot about Hartlepool in one moment. First,
yeah, you get pumped there as well. Oh, pumped. Oh, Boris. Pumping away, air coming out, pumping away, air coming out.
To take you through where we currently stand in the election results.
Pumped.
Slightly slower than usual, apparently, because of because of COVID. There's more restrictions in terms of how people can assemble and count. But let's start with the English election results as they currently stand.
How did that go for you?
So these are very good for the Conservatives and rather poor for the Labour Party. So the Conservatives are up 151 councils as it stands. And Labour
I'm not really even keen that in the Labour Party, but it's funny. It's all just funny.
are down 161. The Lib Dems are down 119. Sorry, the Lib Dems are down 19, and the Greens are up.
The other commies, the environmental commies.
So you can see that big gains for the Conservatives, big losses for Labour. And I think we can now see where we are currently standing in terms of councils, which is the Conservatives have gained 7 councils. They've gained control of 7 councils.
Oh dear.
The Labour Party have lost control of 4. That's with 60 out of 143 having been declared. We don't have...
Oh wow, so there's still got quite a lot to actually go. I mean, we're not, 60 of 143, that's less, just under a half.
Many of the mayoral elections through yet. Some of them that we do are Doncaster, which Labour have held, and Liverpool, Labour have held, and the Tees Valley Metro Mayoralty is held by the Conservatives. They won a stomping majority there. We're going to be talking about that. And when it comes to Wales and Scotland, super early days in both of these elections, partly because of the electoral system. They use additional member, which means we first get results from constituencies, but it could dramatically change when they count the party list.
Yeah.
So it's too early to say what's going on.
But Labour are getting pumped there as well. Oh, Sarwar didn't beat Wee Nippy. And what else happened? Wee Snippy, Wee Nippy, what's happening, Wee Nippy? Wee Nippy held off Sarwar. Not anything dodgy about postal voting. And what else happened? Humza Useless get back in, the anti-white racist. And what else happened? Labour are losing seats. Labour are losing constituency seats to the SNP.
What we do know, there are 22 of 60 seats declared for the Welsh Parliament. So far, Labour have lost 1 constituency to the Conservatives, but overall, Labour's vote share is looking pretty strong. So it looks like they're going to end up in a very strong position to form a government once again.
I don't know what the Welsh are doing. I don't know why the Welsh are still pandering with these characters.
In Scotland, the SNP have gained 2 constituency seats, 1 of Labour and 1 of the Conservatives. That's with 38 of 129 seats declared. So still a very long way to go.
So that's massive. Let's.
It will only be.
I was trying to go on ITV so I could actually go over, because I had some quite good coverage on ITV, but I can't get back on STV's election special. Don't know if I can do it this way. Let's try another way. Where the hell is that? It's 8 o'clock. Sorry, special on at 8 o'clock. Where's the one I want? I want this one. Why can I not get on that? All episodes, and I can't, it's not allowing me episodes available. It's not allowing me to get on it. God damn it. What is going on here? Why is that not letting me on that? TV announced parties leaders to go head to head, 5 leaders to take part in STV's election debate. Right, I don't think we're going to get it. That's very disappointing. Let's see what the Sun are saying. Well, Rupert, here we go. Oh, they've copied me. Tuning in how to watch the Scottish election results live and what channel they're on. Oh, here we go. Ewan. Oh, here's Ewan Mowat. Oh, hi. How you doing, Ewan? Thanks for the article. Very considerate. I don't know when this is. How to tune in. When is this? That's the 29th of April, that's ages. Yeah, that's 2 weeks away. It's nothing to do with us today, is it? STV line up leadership debate. Party leaders go head to head. Right, that's rubbish. Nonsense. Let's see if we've got anything on Google. Yeah, well. Oh, election special seat by seat. Oh, here we go, here we go. How exciting, reject all, beat it. Let's go, guys. Oh, look at that, social distancing. Election 2021 seat by seat results as they happen. Constituency seats declarations are starting across the country. Whoa. Nicola Sturgeon holds seat in Glasgow South Side. High turnout could set a record for a Scottish election. Humza, useless anti-white racist, confronted because of the colour of his skin. I think it's more the fact that he's making racist remarks about everybody else's skin, to be honest with you. Alex Salmond has no regrets over bid to return to Holyrood, neither should he. The final election poll for STV News projects an SNP majority. So I said there wasn't going to be an SNP majority. Well, I don't know if they mean the majority of seats or just going to be the largest party, but I'm taking them in the largest number of seats, which is quite scary. It could be correct, but they're going to suffer on the regional list. So they're going to get a lot of seats on the constituency list, and I think they'll suffer because they'll get so many in the regional list that it might let in other parties. And this is what's very, very exciting. The final election poll. No, I don't want to read anything of that. Counting is underway across Scotland in the 2021 Holyrood election, seat by seat. Seat by seat, here we go. This is what we're talking about here. This is the constituency seats here. My God, that's 50. Oh no, that's not very high turnout. Is that a high turnout? I thought they said there was a record high turnout. So here we go. Aberdeen Donside, SNP hold 58.2%. Airdrie Shotts, SNP hold 59%. Angus North and Mearns, SNP hold 64%. Argyll and Bute, SNP hold 68%. Ayr, SNP gain 68%, I think, against the Tories. Banff and Bucking Coast, SNP hold 56%. Caithin, Sutherland and Ross, SNP hold 65%. Clonmacnoise and Dunblane, SNP hold 66%. Clydebank and Mulgai, SNP hold 70.8%. Cobridge and Christon, SNP hold 63%. Cowdenbeath, SNP hold 61%. Cunningham South, SNP hold 58%. Dumfries, Conservative hold 66%. Wow, Dumfries, well, that's in the borders. And as I told you, remember I told you the other day there, that the borders is one of the places where the SNP might pick up regional seats. The rest of it was a waste of time. Dundee City West, SNP hold 57%. East Lothian, SNP gain 69%. So they've taken off. Who was in East Lothian? Let's see, East Lothian. And Edinburgh Central. East Lothian, Edinburgh Central. Let's see who's in East Lothian. How exciting is this? This is just the most exciting thing ever. Live, oh there it is there. Live count, East Lothian. East Lothian, here we go. Two minutes ago. Paul McLean wins East Lothian for SNP, finishing with a majority of 1,179. Labour, which held the seat since the creation of the Scottish Parliament, finished second, more than 7,000 votes ahead of the Conservatives in third. Updates to and from the race across Scotland and the UK. Doesn't really tell you much about it. Yeah, so we don't know Edinburgh East. I'm sure he'll tell you a wee bit more about it. With availability 50 out of the 143 councils in England, the Conservatives have a net gain of 4 authorities, 129 seats, and the Labour and net loss of 3 authorities. Oh, that's rubbish, that's not up to date. I've got more up to date stuff than that. Come on, let's get back here. Where is this? Who is the old, who used to have it? East Lothian. I'm going into Google here. Here we go. Then the Scotsman, Rachel Mackay, Friday the 7th, May 2021. There are 4 candidates running in the constituency ballot. There's only 4. They haven't even broken it down by party. Come on, that's a bit sloppy. Come on, Scotsman. Mr. McLean won SNP over Labour, 16,000. So he won by nearly 1,000, over 1,000 votes. Wow. So the SNP have been really getting heavily backed. In his victory speech, Mr. McLean said that Nicola Sturgeon was a postmodernist Marxist, pledged to work with all groups and all parties for East Lothian and make an emotional tribute to his father, who passed away 2 years ago. I'm sorry to hear that. After shaking hands with Mr. McLean, former East Lothian MSP and Scottish Labour candidate Mr. Whitfield left. So that's 1 down for the Labour Party. Remember, I said there would be up to five losses for Mr. Sarwar. It's going to be a disastrous night for Labour in Scotland as well as all over the rest of the UK. Basically, the Scottish Labour is in a death spiral of incompetence. They would have to gut the whole party out of like imbeciles, but it's like the idiots have taken over the asylum, and they won't be able to get rid of the idiots, so they're just stuck with the idiots, and it just looks really embarrassing for anybody to listen to them, because everybody's saying these guys are real idiots, man, and they're not getting it. He was full of praise for new Scottish leader Anna Sarwar, who's going to reduce the number of MSPs in the Scottish Parliament for Labour. He says he added a human side to the party, but as a loser. Let's be honest, Mr. Sarwar is going to lose seats for the party, and they're going to continue to go down. The Labour Party are in a death spiral. One MP in Scotland, now they're going to be down to just double figures, high teens, and the MSPs. As I said, the next elections, the next conference is going to be in a phone box in Scotland. It's going to be Peter the Plonker. Labour just won Edinburgh South, did it? Oh my goodness, that's a bit of a turn up, isn't it? Where are you getting, Mr. Fred, where are you getting your info from? Where's it coming out? Let's get that. Yes, it's pure propaganda. I like Colin Mackay. He at least gave Sturgeon a good grilling. A lot of let's not kid ourselves here. The Scottish media have helped helping hand in the SNP. Of course they have. Try attacking me for asking questions. BBC. Let's go in for the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Google. I don't even know why I've done that. BBC. Yes. Here we go. 36 the SNP are at just now. This is all constituency just now. So let's so Labour have got one MP, and I think that's what they'll finish on. No, I'm only joking, but that's all they've got just now. One MP, MSP. The Conservatives have got 2, and the illiberal, liberal, undemocratic Democrats have got 4. So that's quite an incredible feat for the illiberal Democrats. So we're expecting them to get 5, so they've got 1 more to get, and then they're finished. Maybe get 2 on the constituency. The Watermelons have got none, and we're looking for the others. See, this is what they do. If you look at how the way that they actually, the media actually do this, they just basically simp for the 5 main parties and then call everybody else independents or whatever way they want to do it, and we get 5 parties full of dough balls. That's how they do it. So Labour's up 17, Tories on 7, Plaid Cymru on 4, illiberal Liberals, undemocratic Democrats on 0, and the rest, the Reform Party on 0. I'm not sure. The UKIP had a number of seats, up to 7 seats here. So I don't know if they're going to flip to the Reform Party, if they're going to stay with UKIP. I'm not sure if they're going to maintain the 7 seats that they had in the Welsh Assembly. So I'm not sure if they're going to do that. So quite a good result for the Moby and the Marxists. And yeah, so we'll get the Conservatives way ahead, 300 up on Labour. The Liberal Democrats 206, and I don't know who RA is. So that's quite interesting. Labour holds key seats in Welsh election. Oh, Plaid Cymru hold something Ceredigion. Anyway, Labour hold Newport East. Oh, Conservatives hold Monmouth. Stammer Insider on Stammer, what went wrong and how to fix it. What are the results in my area? Oh, fantastic. Let's see this. Let's see the Scottish. Well, I'm there. I wanted to change that. Scott, oh no. Reform. How did you change that? Why is that not drop down? Scottish election, that's it. Here we go. Scottish election 2021 results coming in from the Scottish election is now getting the results of the 48 constituency results. We're expecting on Friday the remaining 25 constituencies and 58 regional results are expected to be announced on Saturday. The Scottish National Party 36, 3 changed, so they're up 3. Liberal, undemocratic Democrats on 4. Conservatives down 2. So the Conservatives are down 2, Labour down 1. That's very interesting, isn't it? Show region, let's see, let's go down here. Family, oh, here we go, we've got a full list of all these guys now. I'm going to save that for later. So independents on 0, independent. Scottish Family Party 0, Freedom Alliance 0, UKIP 0, All for Unity 0, Alba Party 0. None of these will actually come up in Reform UK. They've not got the Scottish Libertarian Party here, although I think the Scottish Libertarian Party are going to have a fantastic night. Turnout 64%, up 7.5. Obviously 64%'s still got 36% of people who don't want to go out and vote. Registered voters 4,280,785. So, oh, look, oh, it's all going yellow, all going yellow. Why is that not showing me anything? Why does it not show me the results? Oh. Kevin Stewart elected Aberdeen Central. I want to see the results. Show me the results. So far, the list results, this is Professor John Curtis. So far, the list results have been declared for 10 of Scotland's constituencies. These show that the SNP list votes is 7 down on the constituency, though the gap is less anticipated by opinion polls and might yet be enough to enable party to pick up a key list seats in the Highlands. See, I told you, did I not say this? List seats in the Highlands. So let me read this again. These show that the SNP list vote is 7 points down. So the list vote, which is the regional vote, down on its constituency vote, is the regional vote, though the gap is less than anticipated by the opinion polls and might yet be enough to enable the party to pick up key list seats in the Highlands. Interesting. The Greens are so far only running at 7% because nobody's voting for Moby of the vote, but up by 2% on the results in the constituency last time. This is somewhat less of an increase than anticipated by the polls. Meanwhile, as anticipated by the polls, it looks as though the Conservatives will be well ahead of Labour in the list vote that nobody's voting for. If the two parties are close in their share of the vote in the constituency, that should be enough to ensure the Conservatives remain the second largest party in Holyrood. To date, the Alba Party is running at just 2% and is highly unlikely that it is going to gain any representation. I don't know if that's 2% in the country overall, but if it's concentrated in an area, in a region, then they might get it. It's going to be a shame, I think, if there's no smaller parties actually voted in. I think that's going to be a real shame if it's only these 5 donkey parties. And it seems highly unlikely that it is going to gain any representation in the constituency. Labour highly successful defence of Edinburgh Southern, they must have been putting the castle around it to actually protect it. It must be like Edinburgh Southern must be like the Alamo. Surprising given the way that the party has consolidated itself in this seat at Westminster. This is their only seat. This is their only seat that they've got for an MP at the Westminster elections. For the British elections, they've only got 1 seat in Scotland now because they're useless, and that's them. This is the same seat they've got for the Scottish elections. Again, it is clear the Conservative vote switched to Labour to keep the SNP out in fairly spectacular fashion. Very, very interesting. Time for Salmon to take up a job in his local chippy. Support Davey with a thumbs up. Yeah, thanks guys, love you guys, my baby gorillas. I like Colin Mackay. Labour just won Edinburgh South. They have a live map. The map, they have a live map, do they? Oh, where's the live map? Let's see the live map. Is this a live map? Changes. Oh, it does start to tell you. Here we go. So we're so substantially ahead. So let's go through these blow by blow. Aberdeen Central, Kevin Stewart did quite well, virtually 45% against 24%. Labour down 7.4% because nobody's voting Labour, and the Communist Greens are up 6.6% as well. The Liberals, they don't tell you anymore. Maybe it was only the 5 useless parties that were standing. Come on then, come on. Let's go back here. Aberdeen, here we go. Jackie Dunbar, 18,000 seats, nearly double that of, oh my goodness, double that of the Conservative Party. The Labour Party down again, 3%, collapsing, the Labour Party collapsing all over the place. Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, Lucas Grant, got 240 votes. So even me standing for the Brexit Party, and obviously with Nigel being a big hit, I only got 650, which was, I was very grateful to the 650 people who voted for me. But it's what my point I was trying to get to was that it's very difficult for small parties, even start-up parties, to even break into this. I mean, you do get small numbers. I mean, I get 3 times for the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition for Nigel. But unless you're playing with the big hitters, then it's very difficult to actually break into this. Let's see what else is. I want to see some of the guys, and any of the guys are on it. Come on then, let's go. So Audrey Nicholl has got 0% of the votes and got 0 votes. None of them have got any votes. It's very interesting. Wonder who should get elected. Nothing dodgy going on there. Oh, they've got no votes as well, so I don't know if this is going to be a waste of time. Oh, here we go. Airdrie Shots. I'm actually looking for the smaller parties. Neil Gray, 16,000, 6,000 ahead of Labour. Labour up slightly. Richard Leonard's seat. Oh, Richard Leonard didn't get through. Wonder if he's on the regional list. Ross Lammy, Jim Dawson, Independent, 132. Even the Liberals are down. John Cole. Angus in North. Let's see this guy. Mary Gogin. We pronounced that right, Mary? 17,000, nearly 50%, up 2.9%. Tories 38.7%. So I think there must have been some sort of transfer there as well. Labour down as usual, 1.8%, collapsing. The Labour Party, Cindy Douglas. Nobody interesting else there. Ayr. Let's see Ayr. Sonia Brown, Miss Brown, shall we say, 43%, up 2.5, 43.1%. So that's only 150 votes, 170 votes in that one between John Scott. So the Conservatives. So I think there must have been a bit of vote. So the Conservatives. And obviously Ayr's quite a conservative town, so that's actually quite a good result for Miss Brown. Esther Clark, the Labour Party down 3% again, collapsing all over the place. Scotia's Future, Chick Brodie, 267. It's quite interesting. S&P hold. So where we got Karen Adams, 45%. Again, another good challenge, up 10%, down 9% for SNP, which it must have been about 54%, 55% even the last time. And then the Conservative Party are up 10%. Again, 700 votes or something like that in it. Labour Party getting crushed again. They've only got 2,000 votes. Obviously, nobody's voting for them anymore. Freedom Alliance, fantastic. 300. That's what we want to see. 347 votes there for Jason Duncan and David McCutcheon. 301. Restore Scotland. So if those two got together, they might actually have gone up closer to the Liberals. Mary Todd, Molly Nolan. So again, the SNP win that one by quite a substantial margin, nearly, what's that, 7%. Labour collapsing again, down 4.9% to 2,000. My goodness, the Labour Party have completely crushed in this. I don't know how much tactical voting is as well, but down 4.9%. Freedom Alliance, this the lovely Tina McCarthy. McCaffrey. On the Scottish Libertarian Party, they haven't even managed to give Harry his logo here. So it just shows you the bias there as well. So the Freedom Alliance beat the Scottish Libertarian Party, both doing pretty much the same thing. I don't know why they're not in the same political party. Then they would have got nearly 200. So, but it just shows you how much I got for the Brexit Party, getting 650 votes for not having any infrastructure, no councillors, nobody to help you, no local party. So it was quite incredible how well we did when you look at these smaller parties trying to break through, and there's no discredit to them. I hope they do very well. And I don't think the Scottish Libertarian Party or the Freedom Alliance Party have ever stood in these constituencies before. So obviously these numbers are breakthrough numbers. And as I told you, the Scottish Libertarian Party started off with 16 or 12 or 16 votes, I can't remember exactly, 12 or 16 was very low, and now they're getting hundreds of votes as well. But I would suggest that these guys need to talk to each other and try and work out some way of actually joining together. Or, I mean, I think the Freedom Alliance and the Scottish Libertarian Party are pretty much the same thing, but very interesting. So that's in the Highlands and Islands. Clickmanisher and Dunblane. Oh, come on. Keith Brown, 47% over Conservatives. Alexander Stewart, 25.6%. Craig Miller, down again. The Labour Party are getting crushed all over the place. Oh, that's quite a big vote. That is for Fulton McGregor of the Clan McGregor of the Scottish National Party, getting 57%. Where is this? This is Coatbridge and Christon, getting 57.5%, up 9.5% over the Labour Party, who are down 3.6% in what was a traditionally Labour constituency. Oh my goodness. So there's the Family Party, first one I've seen, 411 points. I think that a lot of that is down to Mr. Lucas. Leo Lanahan. I hope I pronounced that right there. I just can see that for a smaller party there, I mean, even the Liberal Democrats were only getting 622. I would have beat the Liberal Democrats had I been in that constituency. So, again, very interesting. I really want to see smaller parties as well, though, to see what they're actually starting. A lot of these are start-up as well. A lot of these, the Family Party are not start-up. The Family Party have been going for a wee while, but they're certainly becoming better known just now. Annabelle Ewing, I don't know if that's of the Clan Ewing, on 16,000 votes. There's Labour down again. Labour are getting massively down as well. Cowdenbeath, down 5.2%. Oh my goodness. It's an absolute disaster is showing for Labour. Oh, getting crushed. They're only at 37, so they're nearly 20% virtually behind Labour. The Conservatives are down slightly. The Communist Greens are up 3%, and the Liberals are 1,000. Oh my goodness. How exciting. So we're just in the C's just now. Ruth Maguire, 15,208 votes. Oh. And the Labour Party are down 6%. And this, where's this? West of Scotland region, Cunningham South. Oh, the Labour are getting crushed. If this is reflected in the actual constituencies, the Labour Party, the regional vote, the Labour Party are going to have a really terrible time. Independent, there's Maurice Campbell. Morris, I hope I pronounced that right. With 300, did very well there for an independent there, Mr. Campbell. But again, nobody's voting for the Liberals, and they are getting smashed all over the shop. So, Fantastic, very, very interesting. Dumfries borders, very blue as well. 19,000, Oliver, Mr. Mundell, it's Mr. Mundell's seat, isn't it? Oliver, I didn't know his name was Oliver Mundell. So 44%. Oh, and that Joan McAlpine is now 37%. So 10% exactly difference, which equated to something like 4,000 votes. So not close there. Labour down 13.8%. Oh, they're getting smashed all over the point. Oh, it's terrible. Where's this? This is in the Dumfries, South of Scotland region. Let's see. Oh no, we've not got anything in there, have we? No. Dundee City, very interesting, Mr. Dundee City West. SNP Joe Fitzpatrick, 61.6%. Holy moly, that must be one of the biggest results you can get, 61.6%. My goodness. So, Mercedes, what a great name, Mercedes Villaba. Down 4.6% for Labour, absolutely getting crushed, nearly getting overtaken by Tess White of the Conservative Party. They're up. Trade Union McFarlane, which is quite interesting. Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 403%. They're actually they're down 1.1% or 1%. And Restore Scotland, Ewan Gurr, who is at 410. Very interesting stuff. East Lothian, gain from Labour. This is the gain from Labour. This will be the interesting one. Labour only down 1.1%, which is for an absolutely disastrous night of nobody voting for the Labour Party at all. This is absolutely incredible that they've managed to do so well in this seat, but they're still 3% and about 1,200 votes behind the SNP there. They would have been trying to target that. Maybe some tactical voting there with the Conservatives down 3.2%. Ewan Davison getting nowhere, and Labour hold Edinburgh Southern. Oh, here we go. Daniel Johnston up 10 points. So Daniel Johnston bucks the trend of the full night. The only place in on the whole of Scotland that's shown an increase for the Labour Party, and they are up 10%. If they hadn't gone up that 10%, so there might be tactical voting. Catriona MacDonald would have won. And even the SNP are up 4.4%. Miles Biggs, nowhere to be seen. I think Miles will be high up on the regional list to get him back in though. Fred McIntosh, Right Said Fred, is down 1%, and the Family Party 317 up 0.7%. So they have made a slight inroad. You just have to see how much chiselling it out would be to actually get up to be a challenger in the actual overall political spectrum. Edinburgh Western. Oh, and so Nat King Cole Hamilton. Edinburgh Western, Nat King Cole Hamilton, 54.7%, up 12.8%. People might have been impressed with his performance against Wee Nippy. SNP really nowhere to be seen. I mean, these are massive results. That's over half the people who voted for Nat King Cole Hamilton. Sarah Manson, not really interested. Labour down again. Disastrous night for Labour. There could have been some vote transfer there, but I mean that's a massive difference. I mean that's nearly over 20% ahead in this seat in Edinburgh West, 25,000 votes to 15,000, huge. But Scottish Libertarian Party, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time the Scottish Libertarian Party, again, BBC have not put in the logo, which is very disrespectful, and they've got 201 votes. Fantastic. That's them breaking into Scottish politics now. Remember I said they were only getting 16, and we've seen a plus 0.4%, so they're up. So as I said, they're going to get thousands of votes across the whole of the country. And don't forget, these are the constituency votes where people usually don't vote for smaller parties, don't even vote for the Labour Party. It's between the Labour, Conservatives and SNP, and pretty much everybody's going for the SNP. Here we go, again another borders town, Ettrick, Roxburgh and Berwickshire. Again another Conservative hold. There might be opportunities to get regional members. I don't know if Paul Wheelhouse is on the regional list, but because the Conservative Party keep beating the SNP, there might be ways to actually get on the regional votes to get the list MPs back on. Depends. Rachel Hamilton, 18,000 votes, 51.5%. Quite incredible how much support they're getting there. Paul Wheelhouse, 11,000 votes. Jenny Marr. So, I mean, they're massively ahead. They're ahead by nearly 20-odd%. And, Ian Davison managed to get the Labour up to 2,000 votes. That's nothing. So, yeah, that's an incredible size of a vote there. 20-odd%. Don't know if there's any targeted voting there. Not sure. There's the Communist Green Party. We're getting 1,000 votes. And... Jess Ray, the singer, fantastic, 209 votes. Absolutely, as an independent, great to see them liven up the political discourse. SNP hold, let's see Edinburgh Falkirk. Oh my goodness, so exciting, isn't it? Falkirk East. Oh, Michelle Thompson, 18,000, 47.4%. 18,417 against Labour. Well, one of the few constituencies where Labour's up because of being a disaster. 10,000 votes, 837. Oh my goodness. Conservatives slightly up. And there's Peter Crackant, 971 votes. That's excellent there. Very good result there. Not sure what he'd be standing on there, Peter, but an excellent result. Fife North East. Wee Willie Rennie. Wee Willie got 55.1%. Fantastic result from Wee Willie. And they were massively ahead of the SNP at 36.6%. So the difference was nearly 8,000 votes, just under 8,000 votes. Labour down again, not even anywhere on. They're basically going to collapse. Probably other smaller parties will overtake them now. Annie's Land. Hogue for Billy the Kid. 17,000, 58%, over 50% of the people have voted. Incredible. One of the, just a wee bit up there for Labour Party, but massively behind, nearly 7,000 votes behind the Scottish National Party. Had the disaster night, Labour, as usual. And that was on Glasgow Annie's Land. Oh, wow. Incredible. Let's go to Glasgow, Maryhill and Springburn, my favourite place. I used to have some great times up there. Bob Doris, our friend Bob Doris. Guerilla TV's interviewed Bob, and 16,428, nearly 60% of the vote, up 3.5. Labour down 1.3% to 8,504, and quite an incredible night. And basically the Liberal Democrats are now with 688 becoming almost like a small party rather than a mainstream party. Here we go. Oh, this is the disaster one. I hope it wasn't close. Pollock. Oh, Humza useless. Oh, he's down. 18,000 votes. 18,000 votes. Who's voting for Humza useless? And Zubir Ahmed is on 11,000 votes. So there's a 20% difference there. Sandish Gulen, Nadine Kangage, anyway, James Spears, Darren Gardner, 185 for the UK Independence Party. Alan Finlay up 157 votes as well. There you go. Reclaim, Leo Curso. So you could have got these two parties together and they would have actually started to creep up on the Liberal Democrats. If these three parties had worked together, they would have actually started. A lot of them overlap here. And Joseph Feeney, 94%. So Leo Kirst did quite well there. He's up 0.3. Alan Finlay up 0.5. Scottish Libertarian Party. They have just not bothered to put in the symbols here because of the BBC bias to the big parties. But these are crawling up. I mean, it won't be long till the Scottish Libertarian Party, even other parties as well, even Reclaim, will be actually catching up on the Liberal Democrats. Got a wee bit to go, not that far to go to get into actually third place. So I mean, if you got 2,000 votes there, you would actually get into third place, which would be quite incredible. Right, here we go. South Side, Glasgow, wee Nippy's constituency. Here we go, guys. Nippy holds on against Sarwar. Let's see the votes. It's quite a big margin as well. Wee Nippy Knickers is on 60.2% of the vote. Down though, 1.2%. Anna Sarwar is one of the only places up, 8.4%. 10,000 votes, but massively behind Wee Nippy. Almost half the actual number there, which is quite incredible. Freedom, Carol Dobson, 204 votes, which is quite good. Freedom Alliance. Liberal Party, Deke Jackson, 102. Greg Energy Advisor. My goodness, 147. Wow. Jada Francis, 46. She should have done that thing that she did with Nippy earlier. So Jada Francis came last in that, 102 votes for the Liberal Party. And the Freedom Alliance, Carol Dobson, 204. So the Freedom Alliance have actually performed relatively well, although I've not heard much about them. If anybody from the Freedom Alliance or the Liberal Party wants to come and do an interview on the Guerilla TV channel, or even Jada Francis, we'll be more than happy to actually have any of you on. And let me hear what you guys have got to say about politics. So SNP 54.2%. Francis Brennan seemed to have done quite well, but although 7,000 votes behind, the SNP are absolutely crushing it. 31.7%, nearly 23% ahead, 7,000 votes ahead, over 7,000 votes. Oh my goodness. Liberal Democrats are now becoming just a small party now. In fact, in a few years, the smaller parties will be overtaking this. I mean, you're going to be getting third place with getting 3,500 votes. So you're going to get smaller parties that are going to get 3,500 votes and then overtake this. Independent John Burley. So that's quite interesting. Lark Hall, my favourite place, Hamilton, Lark Hall, Stonehouse. SNP hold. Christine McKelvey, 16,761, 46.2%. Oh, the Labour go up a wee bit in this part of the world. Okay. So you've only got the choice of the five main parties. So I would suggest or four. You've not even got the communist Greens in there. And Kilmarnock, 52.7%. Kevin McGregor is massively behind for Labour, nearly 12,000 votes behind. We'll forget about that. Scottish Libertarian Party, Steph Johnston, 253%. 253 votes, up 0.6%. So over all the constituencies, and you'll get even more in the regional list. Going to get massive amounts more in the regional list, I think. We're talking about thousands of votes all over Scotland for Libertarian. I think Steph Johnston's the deputy leader for the Scottish Libertarian Party. Linlithgow hold for the SNP. Fiona Hislop, 22,000, nearly 22,500 votes. The Labour Party, nearly 10,000 votes lower than that, nearly half as much in the percentage. What a disaster. Oh, incredible. Colin Beattie, 21,165. None of these are actually a surprise when you look at the polling. With them polling, some of them are getting, some of the constituencies are getting better than others, but even they're massively ahead. There's Labour, they're 8,000 votes ahead of Labour in second place, who have only got 31. They've nearly, the SNP have got nearly 50% in this constituency, and Labour's only got 31, or 31%. And you've only got those four parties. There needs to be a greater choice than those four parties in the constituency. I mean, really. Murray, let's see, Murray. Have we got 8 o'clock? Oh, we can go back to... Let's go to this. Let's see if we can go and get the thing. Where's STV? I had STV there. Come on, where's STV? I had it 2 minutes ago. Oh. Oh, come on. I said 8 o'clock.
I'm mixing pastries for a rainy day.
Oh, come on.
It's another 20p for the sake.
This is the worst. This is the worst player I've seen. You can't even pull it back or anything. Come on, hurry up.
Good evening and welcome back to
So what have we got here? Constituency votes, Conservative on 21.4%, Greens on 0.9%, Labour on 21.2%. So Labour are actually down. They were saying they were going to get 23%. They're down 1.8% on where they're predicted. This could be a disaster for them in the regional list as well. Remember I said they were going to go down up to five MSPs. I could be proved right as usual. You know, I always get on the money. Let's go, guys. I said the SNP are not going to get an overall majority, so I might have to eat my words on that one.
STV Election Special. Scotland's voters are delivering their verdict. Record turnouts and the SNP are on course.
So the 0.8% is quite low for the others. That's I was expecting maybe in the 2% or something like that. So it's relatively low for the others. Unfortunately, the Scottish populists are just sticking with the usual suspects.
An historic fourth term in government. What's not clear yet is whether the SNP will secure an outright majority. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look at how the next Scottish Parliament is starting to take shape. Rona will be talking to a special guest, and our political editor, Colin Mackay, is here in the studio. But first, here's Ewan Petrie on the story of the day.
Angus Roberts.
Oh, there's King Ming. King Ming, come on, Ming.
Scottish National Party, 16,276.
In Edinburgh Central, a significant win for the SNP.
This result.
Oh, she doesn't look too happy, huh? like a pigtail. So quite interesting. So wee Nippy's major ally is back in. Well, obviously we've talked to Angus as well on the Guerilla TV channel.
Is an emphatic.
It's quite substantial there. 3 for the Conservatives, 1 for Labour, 4 for the Liberals, and 37 so far for the SNP. SNP are romping it in the constituency seats.
And an unparalleled victory for the SNP in Edinburgh Central.
Let's see the result for Edinburgh Central. Edinburgh Central. So what did Tam Laird get? Angus Robertson 16,200, so substantially above the Conservative Party on 11,000, nearly 4,000 more votes, an increase of 10.4%. This was Ruth Davison's old seat. Scott Douglas got smashed there. The Labour Party down 5.7%. Disastrous night for Labour in Scotland. Even more disastrous. They just keep getting crushed. Like if you think of a can of juice, when you crush it just to have fun, so that's what the Labour Party is like. So Bonnie Prince Bob got 363 votes. 363. Bonnie Prince Bob. I don't know who Bonnie Prince Bob is. Bonnie Prince Bob. Edinburgh artist Bonnie Prince Bob condemns crap hotels. Is this guy? Is this gentleman? He's right up my alley. Bonnie Prince Bob will stand against Angus Robertson in Edinburgh constituency as an independent candidate. Bonnie Prince Bob, an Edinburgh artist, has vowed to challenge the failing SNP at the Scottish Parliament elections. Bonnie Prince Bob will stand against Angus Robertson in Edinburgh Central constituency as an independent candidate, claiming it was time for local residents to stand up for the areas they live in. The video artist, he sounds a fantastic fella. He has now shared strongly worded campaign message announcing his intention to stand. Get in there, Bonnie Prince. I hope I meet him. He's right up my alley, this fella. The seat was won by Ruth Davis. Remember I said that? I got that right. Scottish Conservative 2016. She said she was standing down, which we're going to miss Ruthie Baby Davison, from Holyrood to take the seat in the House of Lords. Don't know when we could be Lords, but okay. Bonnie Prince Bob, in his campaign video, if Angus Robertson thinks he can turn up here in Edinburgh Central and walks into a Holyrood without a fight, then Angus Robertson is mistaken. Yeah, well, he didn't do too badly. Bonnie Prince Bob beat the leader of the Scottish Libertarian Party. But to be fair, I think this was the first vote, and so this is the first time anybody's ever voted for the Scottish Libertarian Party, and obviously the UK Independence Party got 78 votes. So I mean, it's not. These are all these. Well, no, that's not. That's up 0.2%. So they must have somebody else must have stood there, other than Donald Mackay. I think there has to be a rebranding, or just moving in with the UK Reform Party. I think those guys need to heal their wounds and just go together. It's pointless. Tam Laird's in a different part of the political spectrum. Well done to Tam getting breaking through. This is the first time in I think in history that any Scottish Libertarian has actually stood in this seat. So congratulations to Tam getting 137 votes, and realistically he's only got to get like 3,000, and that would be him in fifth place. So there's obviously there's going to have to be a wee bit change just now, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and it has to keep going. But again, no logo there. So very interesting though, very interesting stuff. Where are we? Where's my thing? Come on, where are you? Right, here we go, we're back. Come on then.
We have just won the seat of the former leader of the Scottish Constituency.
What the hell's happening here? Come on.
Well, here's streets for a rainy day. Another 20p for the savings.
See where you think, let's see if the change. Keep seeing.
What are you guys saying? Well, we're having to go back here. Left light, green, fish, Tam Laird, is that him off? Still game? That's King Ming. He's fantastic. Commentary is superb. Bonnie Prince is amazing, is he? Is he amazing? I need to watch him. Seems like a cracking guy. Watch the videos on YouTube. I will do. Scott, exactly. A 4-term government is a fascist one, yeah. Especially one with such a large majority, Michael. Call me crazy, but there has been warning flags and red signs for months, yeah, and years that the SNP Parliament and government could rig things. This thing, I don't think they've rigged it. I think they've actually won it. There is, yeah. Oh.
1,276.
In Edinburgh Central, a significant win for the SNP.
This result is an emphatic and an unparalleled victory for the SNP in Edinburgh Central. We have just won the seat of the former leader of the Scottish Conservatives and recorded the best ever SNP result.
The SNP also took East Lothian, a seat that's been in Labour hands since the Scottish Parliament was formed.
I think we were clear on the message about Scotland's future, Scotland's choice. This was also very much a programme area, and we clearly focused on that and saying to Labour voters that we were the only party that wants to go back into Europe.
In Ayr, the party narrowly defeated the Conservatives with a majority of just 170, while former Tory leader Jackson Carlaw held on to Eastwood.
Jackson Carlaw held on to Eastwood. Oh, did he? All right. So that's good. Jackson must be one of the few, which is credit to his political ability, one of the few Conservatives actually retained the seat.
Find the time, Nicholas Sturgeon.
Oh, there's Humza Useless, and the lesbian will be throwing her off the minaret soon enough.
Already it seemed clear the SNP were on course to emerge as the largest party. The question remains whether they will secure an overall majority.
A majority in a PR system, always a long shot. I would like to achieve it, but I've never taken that for granted. What matters is winning, and I think I can see with some confidence that we're on track to do that.
There was no surprise as the SNP leader fended off a challenge from Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar to hold on to her Glasgow Southside seat.
So, Anna Sarwar has not had a good night either, to be looking at the results so far. The thing that's going to make it worse, I mean, he's sitting, they thought he was going to get 23%, he's only sitting at 21.2%, which is down. But they weren't going to do very well in the constituencies because obviously the SNP are sitting nearly double or both of those put together. But if you add the 0.9 to the 47.1, that's obviously 48. But if you add the Conservative 21.2 to the 21.4, 42.6, so you're on 50.8 of the Unionist parties, which is actually larger than the SNP and the Greens combined. Even if I give the others to the SNP as well, there will be more Unionists that have voted here than Nationalists. So this is the thing that the Nationalists have to think clever about, and they should take a victory. A victory would be getting Devo Max in the short term and making a success of it, if that's what they're going to do. If they take another shot at a referendum, they're going to get absolutely destroyed. Oh, what am I doing?
The opposition hasn't been up to scratch. They haven't been good enough.
Yeah, but you're going down in the polls. So I agree, but you're still actually going backwards. You've been an absolute disaster. You've been pumped all over Britain like an old tyre.
I think people can see through the course of this election campaign that I'm a different kind of leader.
Yeah, one that's losing. I don't know what's happening with this. And you can't even slide it, or just resume from the...
Omitting pastries for a rainy day. It's another 20p for the savings.
See for yourself. Let's see the change. Keep saving.
Really, to be honest with you guys, the exciting part's tomorrow when we actually see the regional list. The regional list is going to be far more interesting than just now in the constituency list. Even still, it's all going pretty much as expected. A few, maybe the Labour Party's down slightly, and the Conservatives are the second largest party in Scotland just now, but nothing really of any interest. What is going on with this?
Or something else.
Bank of Scotland, by your side.
Really struggling, and I think this is a real problem for the Conservatives. They had hopes of becoming the second of Scotland's two-party system, but they're being held back by Brexit, and the SNP have done well where it's a very strongly Remain area.
Well, several hours ago, as the results were coming in, the First Minister told the programme, and I quote, and this was in relation to the whole issue of whether or not the SNP will hit that magic number of 65. She said, "I can see a pathway, but it is not guaranteed." This is unfair because we're almost out of time, but put your head on the chopping block. Are they going to hit 65?
No.
I think that pathway leads directly through Dumbarton. If they can get that, then I think it's not guaranteed, but it's on. If they don't take Dumbarton, I would have it as pretty strong odds against.
I'm just
Jackie Bailey's seat.
Briefly on the list tomorrow. What should we be looking out for?
I was going to say Schindler, but that's...
Mean surge, but also how well the SNP vote holds up, because the SNP has really struggled to keep...
That Scottish Labour leader Jackie Bailey says the contest to retain her seats is very, very close.
People on board for the list, and they'll need to if they're going to get those last couple of seats.
Rob Johns, Professor, thank you very much indeed. We'll speak tomorrow. Colin, you'll also be keeping an eye on everything, and particularly those list results. Well, that's all from this STV News election special. There is continuing coverage of the election results on the STV News website, and the late news will be here at 10:30. But
don't say I'm not good to the traditional media. Getting you on the Guerilla TV channel just shows you how considerate I am. I'm not watching any more of that. Get off. So that's very interesting, isn't it, Troops? What's my baby Guerilla saying? Tam Laird is a lovely fella. Tam Laird's lovely. Bank of Scotland will be ever more keen on moving that west. RBS to London now, yes. Of course, pumped like an old M25 street worker. It's not rigged, but the people of Scotland are completely gullible. Yeah, well, that's something different. Speak as a born and bred Scot. Mean fist. Tam Laird is he off still game. No, he's Ming the Merciless. He's fantastic, and his commentary is superb. Call me crazy, but there has been a warning flag saying, there has. Too many people in Scotland think Biden won legitimately. If the Cons, Libs, Labour and Liberal have arranged under a union banner, the SNP would have been... Yeah, it would certainly be game on if that had happened. Certainly be game on. looking at these results, just briefly just now on the constituency, which the SNP have done very well. I don't think they've got a majority, even if they say Bojo actually gives them the referendum. I don't think there's a majority there for actually leaving the United Kingdom, and I think the Nicola's going to do what Nicola's going to do, but if they don't get if they say Boris gives them another referendum, they don't get the referendum this time, they're going to be stuck. They're going to be stuck in the fact they're not going to get another referendum probably for 20, 30 years at least. And then people are going to start to look at the domestic record, which is terrible, and education and health and everything else, which is all terrible. So the only point of reference they've got is the only point of reference I've got is to get this referendum and win it. But if they don't win it, they're going to have major problems. They're going to have major problems. So we Nippy will not have appeased our globalist allies. She'll have done another 4 years of disaster, and when you'll see now coming out the education report that's going to be absolutely shocking that your children are going to go through. I mean, there's going to be so many things that are going to be issues, and obviously then she's got me to deal with later on further down the road when we set up a new political party. So there are all these things. Wee Willie Rennie wee Willie Rennie Galloway and the Frees will be very interesting, yes. I think the Tories failed her. So, it's just so delicious, isn't it? Delicious, let's be honest. If they gave them the vote, and supporters would shit themselves and vote to remain. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people are voting for this carrot of independence by Nicola Sturgeon, where Wee Nippy's actually an underlying Marxist and probably doesn't care. She's already on the record for saying she doesn't care about independence and she wished her party wasn't called the Scottish National Party. She's on the record by saying it out her own mouth. It's not somebody else can say, oh no, she didn't. She said it out her own mouth. We've all heard it. Oh, so interesting. Is there any refresh? How do you refresh it? What have we got here? Yeah. I mean, Scotland's gone yellow, hasn't it? The borders, again, is gone blue. Which, as I said, this is the area where you might get regional list pickups for the SNP. And maybe the Highlands, but the Highlands gone all yellow as well, so I don't think there's going to be much opportunity there for the SNP to actually win it either. Win regional seats up there as well. So there'll be other people that might get in. Hopefully smaller parties will get in on the back of that. I'm a bit surprised that the Alba party's only hitting at 2%, mind you. I thought they would hit more. And that's worrying for Georgie Porgy. Seeing the low amounts of votes for the smaller parties as well. Obviously, the five parties that are getting protected by the media are obviously entrenched in Scottish politics, and it's going to take a big intellectual move to move the Scottish people from voting for these five parties. It's almost like having, as I was saying last night, it's almost like having the smoking habit. And you can't break it. You're just politically obsessed with these five parties, and there's plenty more choice out there. These parties are not the raison d'etre. Listen, I'm out here. I've talked enough just now. What was that? When did I come on here? 7 o'clock? An hour and a half? But very interesting. Get back to you tomorrow, guys, and we'll find out, which is more fascinating for me, what's happened in the regional list, and have we got any movement and anybody who's not outside, or who is outside the five main political parties getting into power, which would be great. Guys, love my baby gorillas.